Okay, so I wanted to kind of start some sort of vlog type program, more or less just to kind of help me learn to explain things, thoughts inside my head, um, elaborate on topics, share opinions, and that kind of thing, and work on my overall, I guess, diction, like my ability to take something that's inside of my head, which is so much. There's so much going on there at all times, and often I typically have issues. I guess just putting it into words and in sort of a an eloquent manner. And yeah, I mean, I was reading the Gary Vaynerchuk book, Crushing It, good old Gary V, and yeah, he just kind of talked about the I guess the documentation of your learning procedure. I think a lot of people wait, till the I guess circumstances are what they need it to be in order to do whatever it is they want to do. And I guess he kind of put it in a really comforting format. It's just like allow people to see the process of you getting, where you start, where you start off, like, your beginnings, your humble beginnings, like there's you're not a professional off the get-go, and nobody is, obviously. So I think he sort of suggested, rather than waiting until you've kind of got all this, amazing experience under your belt and your content is amazing and all polished and perfect, but rather just start recording or start doing whatever it is you're doing, and expose yourself, expose that learning procedure. And I think that the organic, kind of like natural, authentic nature of it is kind of a draw in itself. And once you've kind of gotten to that point where you're a professional, or you're really well practiced, you've got lots of experience, and everything is kind of, everything is polished and perfect, you can't get that back. You can't say, okay, well, I'm gonna be a beginner again, and really capture that authentically. So I can see where he's coming from in that regard. And also, I mean, for me, the real big thing, and that's the kind of the topic I wanted to get into on this particular vlog entry, is it helps with that procrastination, I guess, is the word. But just that feeling that, like, there's not everything's perfect, or like I feel like I'm not a good enough speaker yet, or I'm not good enough at XYZ, to at least the level of comfortability that I want to be at before I start showing people, showing the world, whatever it is I want to do, whether it be recording vlogs, or perhaps I'm playing an instrument, or anything. There's a million things you could share with people in the world, more than that, actually. And yeah, so I guess his kind of what he was trying to impress is just do it, just start, just share it, document the learning process. And I mean, really, his wine library video series, which I've only watched a couple episodes of, and what I was obviously drawn to is just, I've seen Gary Vee as he is nowadays. I've seen him on his Instagram feeds, his podcast, and all the video content that he's putting out, and I've seen him today after all of the groundwork he's laid throughout the years. So I went back to his very first videos of Wine Library, long before he was ever famous Gary Vee. And I mean, it was kind of funny because it was just, it wasn't polished. It was very like basic, and he leaves it up there. He doesn't take it down. He's not embarrassed by it. He's not self-conscious about it. It's his beginnings. It's his humble beginnings. And so it's kind of cool that you can just go on there and peek into, almost like hop in a time machine and go back to when Gary Vaynerchuk was just this guy who was director of operations at this online wine sales company. And he thought, well, you know what, maybe I'll just give this YouTube thing a chance. And I think he was a pretty staunch supporter of the idea, and I think that's why he went on there in the first place. It was kind of unorthodox at the time, and yeah, over time he made I don't even know how many videos he made, but he made a lot. I mean, like I said, I've only seen a few, but you look at him today, right? You look at what he's doing today, the quality content. He's putting out a lot of content, and a lot of people listen. He's got, I think, over 6.5 million followers on Instagram. But it all started with this wine video series. But I think kind of for me, the biggest take home from that was just do it, right? Just put it on a video or some other form of documentation, like audio recording or whatever. Or even if it's not nothing to do with recording, if you are wanting to be, maybe a professional landscaper, go out and just do some of your own landscaping at your house. Create your own projects in the area of your own home, where you're not gonna screw anybody's flower beds up or really cause any damage. Get to that level where you're comfortable, where you can feel like you can do some work for other people, and then start doing it for free. Just say, hey, I'll come and I'll plant some flowers in your yard. I'll do it all for free, whatever. And it's just the idea is just do it. I mean, it's a form of learning. It is the best way to learn. I think it's just jump into the hot water. Or, that's the wrong phrase, but you get what I'm saying. It's just like the deep end, I guess. Just hop right in, and don't wait. Because I mean, I don't know. I can say from my own personal experience, the waiting game and waiting for things to be perfect never truly happens. You just wait and it perpetuates, and you get distracted about other things, and then you keep waiting for those perfect circumstances to pop up that never do. And and if they did pop up, you wouldn't have any skills or experience or understanding or any sort of basis to kind of start building on. It's sort of like with art. It's just I'm waiting for inspiration. It's just well, when the inspiration comes along, you're gonna be the shittiest artist ever, and you're not gonna use the inspiration that comes into mind, and that obviously is no good for anybody, right? So, but getting into more into procrastination, and it's more of the subject of this video is, I had this kind of realization that procrastination, I've always envisioned it as to me, my biggest form of procrastination has been playing video games and just chatting with my friends and being on my computer, watching videos, getting stuck in the YouTube vortex or whatever, right? And it even happened to me shortly before recording this video. I kind of got into cleaning my hard drive. I was whoa, I have not enough space, and I need to figure out why I have so little space. So I went through this big project of sweeping my hard drive, looking through huge files, seeing what I could delete to make space, and I just realized, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I here? What am I doing? I came in here to sit down and do what I'm doing currently, and I somehow got lost in this this weird, like I said earlier, vortex of just doing something completely different than what I had set out to do. So anyways, that's what I've always envisioned as procrastination. But I read an article a long time ago, could never find it again if I wanted to, but it really kind of dawned on me after reading this that procrastination isn't just doing tasks, or not tasks, sorry, that's the wrong word, but things you just like to do to pass time and just kill the time and avoid what you want to do, whether it be just browsing the internet, or when you're supposed to be doing homework at school, or or like I just mentioned, there's also things that kind of bring you comfort. For example, maybe you're making yourself feel good by, even though you're avoiding doing the thing you really wanted to do that will give you fulfillment, that will do things for you. You're okay, well, I need to clean this today. My place is a dirty mess. I want to clean my bathroom, or I want to tidy up the kitchen, or something like that. And at first glance, you're okay, well, what's the big deal, right? I'm just cleaning, I'm just doing some kind of chore around the house, and I needed to do it at some point, so why not now, right? And the thing is you think you need to do those things, right? And I don't think most people, and I shouldn't say most people, but people out there do like to live in cleaning, and clean and orderly kind of environments and everything, and that's not a problem. The cleaning is not the problem. It's just the reason you're choosing to clean is the problem. Maybe you really want to do what I'm doing. Maybe you want to do a vlog entry, but you're you just, whatever reason, you're apprehensive about doing it, or you don't want to start, and you're well, I don't want to feel like a waste of space, but so maybe I'll just, vacuum and get that done because it needs to be done. And that's something I won't feel bad about doing, right? Or it could be like, oh, well, I need to do my budgets. I need to look through my budget and make, see how I did last week or whatever, and if those were the things you needed to do to feel better about yourself, then there's nothing wrong with those things. Obviously, cleaning or budgeting or whatever, they're all adult things to do that are good. But if you're doing it because you're sort of kind of putting yourself out there and doing something that you really want to do to get that enriched kind of feeling, that fulfillment, and you're doing something that you're almost justifying doing it instead of doing that thing because it's like traditionally an accepted thing to kind of use your time doing, if I have to go grocery shopping. I mean, I freaking hate grocery shopping. I hate it. And I mean, I would never use that as a method of procrastination, but I bet there's people that would, right? They feel like they're accomplishing something because it's like it's a task. It's like something you need to do. But you're kind of using it for the wrong reasons. You're just kind of like filling your day with these things that aren't bad things, so you feel a little better about it. But really, in reality, if you set out for your day that you wanted to do that vlog entry, then you kind of failed. You didn't do it, right? You just kind of kept doing other things and justified that, delaying of whatever you were going to do with the fact that, hey, this is a productive activity. I'm creating value. I'm cleaning my place. I'm grocery shopping. I'm making a big dinner. I'm doing all these things that are adding value. But you're not doing what you really want deep down to accomplish. So that's just something that, I read an article back in the day and it kind of like touched on it. And it was way before I started thinking about self-help the way I do now in psychology, and before I read all these books, and kind of like I think this was probably about 10 years ago, if I had to guess. Like it was a long time ago. And I've always been kind of self-conscious about what I do in a day and how I put off things and how I'm kind of lazy and I don't get anything done and I'm not productive and all that jazz. So it's something I read at the time and it kind of stuck with me, and I've always remembered it in the back of my head. And then I've been doing a lot of like content consumption lately, and I thought about that. It's just like procrastination isn't just being lazy. It's just doing things to, I guess, get past not doing something else, right? Doing things that make you feel good about not doing what you want to do or what you should do. And yeah, so that was kind of an interesting thing that came across my mind. I mean, if you're thinking in the future, hey, this has been lurking in the back of my mind. I've always known I should start doing this, start trying to do this and explore this avenue, but you're not doing it, and you're doing whatever it is you're doing something else. Just be aware that procrastination comes in many forms, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're doing something lazy. It could mean you're doing just something else than what you want to do. And it could come under that, clever veil of like, I'm being productive. But in reality, you are doing things that I guess most people would find productive, but you're not doing what you should be doing based on, what I was saying earlier, your inner fulfillment, that lingering kind of thought in the back of your head. What if I could be an amazing vlogger? What if I could be an amazing comedian online and share my content? Okay, well, I'm gonna record some lines, some quick stand-up material, but first I'm gonna do all these chores, and then when I'm finished all those things, I'll do it then. And then it's 9:00 at night and you're like, crap, I don't really feel like doing that anymore, and I think I'll probably just do it tomorrow. Or maybe sometime next weekend, because this week's going to be super busy. And weekdays I get home from work and I have to make dinner, I have to do all these things, And by the time I'm finished those things, it's too late. And yeah, so yeah, maybe next weekend's good. Oh, but I'm going away next weekend. Crap, can't do that. And you see how this kind of cascades, right? So, anyways, make time. Don't avoid doing things you need to do, even if you think you're doing productive things. It doesn't matter. You're not doing what you want to do. Just remember that. Anyways, just a thought of mine. It's my first ever long recording. So anyways, I don't know if I'm going to put this up or not. Maybe I will. Maybe I should for that documentation process like Gary Vee was talking about. But yeah, anyways, yeah. Hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope this helped you a little bit. And yeah, have a wonderful day.